Shalom, Israel, first and foremost. I do want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Shabbat Dash. The born to the apostles, and now the great millstone for teaching us this truth, peace, and blessings to the whole of Israel. Yahweh is the name of that finally Jebu Ba'Shem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the Mayan Son. Back in our lesson, and to be another MOTB update. So watching or seeing some of the Elder Paul Star's lesson, pretty much regarding the MOTB and how it's clear, what it is. Which I have his title in the background or on my TV. It says, "How much more proof do you need?" As they say, the proof is in the pudding, or something to that effect, however it goes. But it's plain as to what the MOTB is, and it is the RFID CHIP, and there's no other way around it. As y'all seen Elon Musk creating the Neuralink, which is the mark in the forehead. You see other companies following in suit, creating similar things. People are already taking things to that of the Neuralink already. So it's at the door, man. And this is a heavy end time prophecy, especially, man. And we've been warning you to spend probably how by Shemashai that this was coming, especially with what it is dealing with once again that RFID CHIP as you get throughout the scriptures. Why it's important to look at the etymology of these words. Dealing that word mark goes to the word charagma in the Greek, which goes to etch, scratch, showing that it's a physical mark and how very soon you won't be able to buy nor sell without it, which I make it all those scriptures, to push that point across. But once in starting with the apostles and else on down, have been warning you to spend part of your Shai to stay far away from this, to not take it, especially when it came to the juice. That concoction Esau Edom cooked up. And we're looked upon as crazy for saying to, stay far away from that. And look what ended up happening. The prophets were indeed right. And the people that defended and pushed for the juice, for people to take it, look at how many deaths that caused. Which I remember this one football player who was pushing, promoting the juice. And I believe he said those that are against it or something to that effect, that don't take it should be fined or jailed. Something to that effect. And he'll begin taken out from that juice. So if he failed, the pop quiz, imagine when the test is in play. As we look into these articles, and I'll further expound on those points throughout this lesson, makes it what the Lord has set up prophets among you to warn you of these coming times and the things that are getting ready to unfold, which can prophesy mean to say before. And you've been told of these things, especially regarding the MOTB. And it's going to be made, or it's going to be even heightened when that, or even more heightened when the MOTB is, really put into action, because you're going to have this double mandated, and you're going to have many people going to have that, especially dealing with Jake, that light bulb moment. And the prophets were right. Ezekiel 33 and 33. They should know that prophets been among them, but let's get on with this lesson. Don't want to stall the intro too long. It says RFK Jr. announces all Americans need health tracking devices. And what do you think that's going to be by the way of? And you already have Apple Watches and these other types of watches that can track your heart rate and all this types of stuff. And when it comes to this MOTB, everything about you is going to be within that CHIP. And they're going to push how it's much better for your body. It's able to get a more clearer data because it's within your body, and that could be able to help the doctors and whatever to so-called benefit you. You're gonna have a lot of people be beguiled, be deceived, tempted into taking this charagma, because you're gonna have this devil be performing miracles on the left-hand side through this technology. So that's why you're gonna have many people lining up to take this thing. But there are major consequences for bowing down, to Esau Edom and taking that CHIP. which I'm gonna get those scriptures, throughout the lesson of wanting the major consequences to receiving that MOTB. Because that especially is going to show that you're putting your faith, your trust in Esau, Edom. You're turning, to this devil. To especially go to show that you are in agreement with this beast system. And how do you go to show that you are in agreement? By taking that charagma. So when the Lord said, a prophet among you to warn you of these coming times, to especially say, stay far away from this thing. But those that want to disregard these warnings and not take heed, that's going to be entirely on you. But it says, all Americans need health tracking devices. Here are the pros and cons. And once again, you have a lot of people be deceived, tempted. This is why you get into, 2 Thessalonians, I want to say 2 and 9. Signs, lying wonders. So I should get that real quick. Yep, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9. That's even him who's coming is after the working of Satan. See, his devil works on the left hand side with all power and signs and lying wonders. You see all the promises that Elon Musk has especially been making regarding the Neuralink, the miracles that he's been able to perform, with it. That people that are paralyzed, people to walk again, people are blind, people to see. People not wanting to take these high risk surgeries and seeing that this is just a little an insertion in your body. Not too much having to go on, putting this within your brain or your left right hand, whatever the case may be. Because that's also another thing Jake tries to do, try to create a loophole to get around and try to outsmart Yahweh by Shemal Shai, because in Revelations the 13th chapter, in the 16th verse, going to receiving that mark in your right hand, Jake will be like, what if I take in my left hand? Well, as we're gonna get later on in Revelation 14, going into either hand you're taking, you will be destroyed. Just want you to make that point. But it says the U.S. Health Secretary plans on huge campaign to encourage health wearables. So we're going to be pushing, promoting these things, using these celebrities, to do so especially. Now, you already know how Jake is when it comes to the next big thing. And you see how they are with shoes, as well as various other things. So, and even when Elon Musk was in the beginning stages of, creating this Neuralink, you said you were able to listen to music within your brain, or see holograms and all this types of stuff. And you had Jake all over that, man. And you best believe people are going to be lining up to take this thing, blocks on end. It's going to be a sight to see, man. Hey, it's going to be the biggest I told you so moment. Because you've been warned. You've been told. But people don't want to mock and scoff. And it's not the MOTB. It's like camps that have took the bag or pushing promoting as a spiritual mark that it's sin itself, which is completely off and makes no sense entirely. The MOTB is a physical mark, and it is the RFID CHIP, and it's clear. It's evident. And you're especially seeing the many steps that are being taken towards that direction, towards the implementation of this beast system, which we ran through that RFID CHIP. You're seeing Amazon One. We're able to pay by the way the palm of your hand. You're seeing many examples of there in China, where people are able to just scan their face and able to pay. Same thing dealing with the palm scan to pay. You have a lot of locations dealing with convenience stores. Now pretty much make it to where you need to show scan your ID to be able to open the refrigerator doors. So you see that direction that this is heading. You're moving towards this digitized system, a digitized route, a digital currency. And this is conditioning and preparing you for it. Now, ultimate end goal is going to be that RFID, but Lord's one time to point to give us my ability. But you see how this is foggy, it's unclear, to the unbelievers. To the people of this world, it's too far for them. Are you looking into it too deep, man? That's not what it's talking about. Alright, we'll see. It's like from kind of, dragging out the intro, but I also do have another article I want to get, so it's gonna get the information at hand. Pick the meat from the bones and get a couple of these scriptures, because hey, this is a heavy prophecy, man. As many Americans already track health statistics like heart rate and sleep cycles on app-connected accessories, so as Spirit, mentioned, the Apple Watch. These are health type watches, where it's able to measure your heart rate, get data from your body as to how many steps you've been taking and all this stuff. But you see how they're going to be pushing this in the name of so-called safety, as benefit to your health. Taking the RFID seal will be able to, monitor your body a lot better and help you in dire needs, whatever the case may be. We're speaking of Esau Edom here, man. Now, the June 24th, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy announced one of the largest HHS campaigns in history to encourage the use of wearables to track health conditions, a trend CNET has recently covered. But you get throughout the scriptures why this was not to be trusted for a reason. You get many articles going to the many experiments that Elon Musk has did, especially on those monkeys, where I believe an article came out where tons of them have died in the midst of those experiments that they did, which I made a lesson, going to at least twice already. At one point, they took down the article, and then it resurfaced again. And you should imagine, the atrocious, the heinous acts this devil did to those poor animals. What can kill it the fastest? What can control its body? What can shut off its brain? And this is what they're wanting to put in your body. Bro, they're not going to do that to a human. They're just doing that on a monkey. I mean, come on. There's even more. And as Kennedy's referring to many different band watches and even clothes that use technology to track human vital signs. It says, CNET's reviewers have spent years testing devices like these, seeing how rings monitor health signs, strap track your heart health, and the right device will lead to better sleep. So you see, for your benefit, this is better your bodies and better your health. Pushing this in the name of so-called safety, security, as well as convenience. Remember this video a while back where you pretty much had an app, I believe, where you could pre-buy things pretty much. So you go to the store, you don't really have to, wait in line, you just get in and get out. And if you would ask a question, pretty much in regard, and he was excited, he was happy. I don't have to wait in line anymore, I don't have to do this and do that. And we're especially speaking of Babylon the Great here, man. Where if something can make their life a little so-called easier, then hop right on board. And you don't know why these people are in this shape today. Overweight, their bodies, their health declining, So especially you're pushing this in the name of convenience once again. But that's the point. Let's get the other article. And it's like if this turned out to be a longer type of lesson, but it's what's flowing through the spirit. So there's another article. Now, the Neuralinks will make phones obsolete in future, says Elon Musk. And there you go. So you're gonna see people, once you're seeing the benefits, dealing with the Neuralink, the RFID chip, and the technological, advancements that is there. People, I don't have to carry my phone, I don't have to carry my laptop anymore, I don't have to carry all these different things on me, because why? It's going to be within your body. Because one thing, they've been making tons of promises. You'll be able to see holograms, you'll be able to listen to music within your brain, take calls within your mind. And you already see many examples now. This one woman was paralyzed. She's unable to speak. And she thought of a sentence, and that sentence was, typed up and displayed on the screen in front of her. So you're gonna have these miracles before on the left hand side. Through this technology, you have people be deceived, tempted into taking it. But once there are major consequences, you have been warned to stay far away from it. Because once again, how about Messiah is especially, against it. But we're also going to be persecuted. We're going to be hated. We're going to be despised, demonized for for not bowing down to this beast and for not taking that Karagma as you've seen with the juice. People look at you like you're crazy for not wanting to take that concoction. You know, you don't care about the people around you. You don't care about your health and all these different things. You even have people fined, jailed over it. And that says, even if Neuralink gets the nod from regulatory authorities to offer BCI as a medical aid device to paralyzed people, it may need more time to test the modern modem to carry out long-distance communications, and this was over a year ago. I just wanted you to get that, push that point of things that you've been saying, that just gonna do it with the phone. But Revelation 13:16-17 start getting through the description as he called though. And it says, and he called up one great rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And which going to that word mark, goes to that word karagma, which then goes to the word etch, scratch, showing that it's a physical mark. And you get that, and then the blue letter. And the etymology of the word. So as a cut to those who want to push that this is a spiritual mark, that this is sin itself. It is a sin, but it's not sin itself. As in bond to receive a mark on the right hand or in their foreheads. You also see Elon Musk. Want to create an link as what's in other companies following suit. Verse 17, that no one might buy or sells the vida, the mark will name the beast or the number of his name. So very soon you won't be able to live a so-called normal life without it. And you're gonna have this that'll begin to tighten that grip. A choice will have to be made come to these last days, and only one is correct. Make sure my voice is on, just to be sure. Okay. This is Isaiah 62:6-7. And as I said, watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold the peace day or night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence. Say, the Lord has set up watchmen, which are those prophets, the men of the Lord, among you, to sound that alarm, to blow that trumpet. So you have been warned of these coming times, the things that's getting ready to unfold. You have been given the spoilers to this movie. And we're warning you to the spirit power of Yahweh Shemashai to stay far away from this Karagma, from this MOTB, which is the RFID C-hip once again. And you're also seeing the mark in the forehead dealing with the Neuralink. Once again, you're seeing the many steps that is being taken towards that direction, towards the implementation of this beast system. Once again, brought up these few apps. Amazon One, able to pay with the palm of your hand. Now you have pretty much everything is moving towards a digitized route. I'll be of Costco if that's the correct store. Pretty much now moving towards a digitized ID. And before you need to show you your membership, but now I think you can do it online. So you're seeing this direction that this is headed. You're seeing the conditioning that's taking place. And that's verse 7, giving the rest to establish to make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. This is Revelations 14:9-10, which again going to those consequences if you do take that MOTB. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. So you see in his hand. So either hand you take it and you will be destroyed. There's no loopholes that you can try to create to outwit, try to outsmart the Heavenly Father. You will be destroyed if you take this thing. There's no ifs or buts about it. Now verse 10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured without mixture into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the angels, in the presence of the Lamb. The Lamb representing our Lord Yahushua. And that fire and brimstone is going to be those thermonuclear missiles. So you taking that Karagma, you're buying front row seats to thermonuclear destruction. The ultimate fireworks show. There's Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. As it fear none of those things thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast me into prison, that ye may be tried. So once you're going to be cast to prisons, jailed. You'll have certain members be faced with this. Fear none things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast you into prison, that ye may be tried. We're going to be demonized, we're going to be hated, we're going to be despised, looked upon as weird, for not wanting to bow down or take this charagma. And we're going to be hated for standing stiffly and boldly for the Lord. But as a fear, none of the things thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast you into prison, that ye may be tried. And you shall have tribulation 10 days, going a certain period of time. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So there's a reward at the end of this finish line. There's a prize, a great reward waiting if we finish watching that race. But there are going to be obstacles in the way. This thing ain't no walk in the park, man. Because your faith, your life is going to be put on the line. This thing is very, very serious. It was Revelation chapter 3 verse 10. Now it says, because I was kept with my patience, I also keep thee from the hour of temptation. So those that continue to remain faithful, continue to trust in Yahweh Bashmah Shah, the Lord gives the strength, the spirit, in order to deny this beast system, to stand stiffly and boldly for him. And we will pray that we're of that number. One more time from top, because I was kept on my patience, I also keep thee from the hour of temptation. The hour of temptation be when the MOT is presented in front of us. The Lord can give us the strength, the spirit that we need in order to deny it. Because once how many people be tempted into taking it. Your job is going to be put in line. Your family may pushing for you to go out and take it. Because one thing, you won't be able to live a so-called normal life without it. You won't be able to buy things. You won't be able to go job. You won't be able to travel. You won't be able to do pretty much anything. That's when we're being fully plugged into the source, into Yahweh Bashmah Shah. Isaiah 10:1, just to further get into that point, and another scripture also bringing that point home, as so I just said. Isaiah 10:1, and it says, woe unto them that decree righteous decrees, and that right grievances which they have prescribed, going to these draconian-like laws. And when you go to that word draconian, goes to the words, harsh, strict, severe. So you're going to have this devil, bringing that hammer down. Fined, jailed. As you saw with the Jews. The restrictions, the mandates that happened with that. How you weren't able to travel without that juice. You needed a green pass. You needed to have it for your job. You weren't able to enter stores without it. That's just an example of what's to come, man. In Isaiah 10:20, this is what we're going to do. For these jakes that want to raise these unfaithful questions. If we're not going to be able to do anything about it, then what are we going to do? How are we going to eat? How are we going to survive? Isaiah 10:20. And that should, this should, shut all that down. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and the set stars skip the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, Yahweh Bashmah Shai, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. So we're relying upon our power, putting our faith and trust in Yahweh Bashmah Shai. As you can get throughout various scriptures of the many great things and miracles that the Lord can perform for his elect, for those that endure, for those that remain faithful. How the Lord's going to find ways for us to eat. To be protected, to be defended in these times. Hey, Lord got us, man. Put your faith and trust in the Lord. But that's the point right there. And once again, Slacky was kind of a longer type of lesson, but just flowing to the spirit. And it's always good to go into a lesson regarding the MOTB and the steps we're taken towards it. Because this is a heavy prophecy, and one of the main prophecies that need to still take place and play out before World War III is fully come to pass. We're seeing the many steps that are especially being taken towards that also. But that's the point right there. Lord's less edifying. The Lord's our tights point together my ability. I do want to close out and give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Bashmah Shah, Bashmah Kadash, and Shalom. See you next one. Lord's will.